This is the plaintiff, George Calley. He says he hired the defendant to cover and winterize his pool. And when summer came around and it was time to open it up, he discovered a huge problem. Whoever covered the pool left a metal Frisbee at the bottom, and it left a rust ring that ate into the liner. The defendant and his guys ruined his pool, and the defendant should be made to make it look as good as new, like it used to. He's suing for $4,500, the cost of a new liner. This is the defendant, Matthew. He says he's not responsible for something left at the bottom of the plaintiff's pool. It's the plaintiff's responsibility to make sure all the toys are removed before winterization. Now the guy wants him to pay for a brand new liner when his was old and used? Ha! He's accused of fooling around. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $328.71 for unpaid fees.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff hired the defendant to winterize his pool, but when he opened it up for the summer, he found a metal Frisbee ring at the bottom of that pool. The defendant says that's not his problem. There were toys at the bottom. It's the case of winterizer. He hardly knew her.
Okay, George Calley and Elizabeth Samantha Conlon, you're representing, she's your daughter?
Yes, she is.
Okay, and you're representing both of you?
Correct.
Correct. You are suing Sharky's Pool Service, represented here by Matthew. You've asked us not to use your last name, for $4,500 because according to you, they damaged your pool liner. You are counterclaiming against them $328.71 in charges that they have apparently stopped on their credit card. Okay, let me hear from you first, Mr. Calley. What's going on?
Well, excuse me. We've had Sharky's for 2 years. They closed the pool in September of last year. We also
Okay, hold on one second. What's involved in closing a pool?
Blowing out the lines underground, removing the equipment, and then put the cover on, put the chemicals in, remove the ladder, diving board, etc., get paid, and leave. That's
Okay.
it.
Do you clean the pool?
No.
Okay. So what happened?
Well, part of closing the pool is to vacuum the pool at the same time. They've done it
Is
every
part
year.
of closing the pool to vacuum the pool?
No, Your Honor.
And of course, that becomes very relevant because as it turns out, when you open your pool, how many months later?
6 months later.
It turns out that somebody left a Frisbee in the pool.
Yeah.
Okay, whose Frisbee is
I
that?
have the Frisbee here.
May I see it? Who's, is it, it's not really
it
a
is one of
Frisbee,
my,
right?
Yes. It's one of my kids, one of my grandchildren.
One of your grandchildren. Ugh. So it's a rusty, some kind of like, not really a Frisbee, but sort of toy. Oh, it's actually, it's just, it has a wire in it. It's otherwise pure nylon. It's just that it has this one wire in it. So one of the kids left the toy in the pool. And I guess nobody saw that?
It's just that when the pool is closed, they usually vacuum the pool, make sure there's no
Okay,
foreign
you say
objects.
that, but according to you, vacuuming the pool is not part of the
Your
service
Honor,
of
I've never vacuumed anyone's pool ever in 20 years before closing it. It's not
Okay.
part of the deal. Unless they specifically ask, they'd have to pay extra for it.
And the pool cover, is it solid or not solid?
It's a mesh.
So sunlight gets through.
Right.
That means that because algae will grow, then you had to do chlorine treatments throughout the year.
The
And
pool
you
company.
did it.
Correct.
And when you put chlorine in this pool, what form do you put it in? Liquid, tablet, gran-
Liquid, 1 gallon in each corner.
Okay, always liquid?
Yes, to avoid staining.
All right, so you first realize something is wrong when the pool gets uncovered. Your daughter notices what?
Well, she notices this stain on the bottom of the pool. There's a couple of
By the way, why isn't your
pictures.
daughter here?
She works at the New York Botanical Gardens, and she couldn't be here today.
Okay.
And we noticed that the Frisbee was at the bottom. I removed the Frisbee, and that's what the liner looked like. In the same token, it was all
Now there's
white
two
at the
spots.
bottom.
I'm sorry, hold on. Oh no, that's the drain. Okay. Is this the discoloration we're talking about, or is that just a flash and a reflection?
It's a reflection, but the whole deep part is white, right by where the main drain is.
Like there?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay. If they're pouring the chlorine in the four corners, because that's clearly the easiest and path of least resistance, so I believe that's how they're doing it, then what's the theory? That it settles to the bottom, to the deep end of the pool, and that's why it's discolored?
The rest of the pool is fine.
How old is the liner?
It's 5 years old.
Do you have the receipt from the original purchase of the liner?
I don't. I have the company who installed the liner. He gave me an estimate is really what it is.
Okay, no, that's a new liner.
Yeah.
My question is, I want to know about this liner. So do you have any proof of how long you've had this liner?
I do not have that with me. No.
Okay, and, well, that would be good. With you would be a good time to have it since this is
I
a
know.
trial, but,
I
all
know.
right. So, Mr. Sharkey,
Yes.
Matthew,
Yes.
you're being sued for $4,500. That's what you have in your hand, right? The estimate for a new liner is $4,500?
Yes.
Okay, may I see that?
You have a copy of that?
You're being sued for $4,500 because the theory goes, if not you, then who? Why is his pool liner
Well,
discoloring?
Now that you saw that, can I see that also or no? Is that allowed?
Of course.
Now that you see that, I have even better evidence for myself now. If it's only in the spot he's saying, which is around the bottom of the main drain, not the rest of the pool, I think over time, by not using a chlorine feeder, which I've recommended on some of the receipts that we wrote down.
Did you ever go to the site or no?
No.
Oh, and why not?
Because his daughter didn't want me on the property anymore.
Oh, she chose never to come back? Okay.
And then
All right,
me and
so go
George
ahead.
spoke a few times about trying to figure out what we can do. He even discussed with me buying a new cover and a new liner at a nice deal, just to make him happy, because even though I don't believe this is my fault, I still don't want an unhappy client.
So is it the defendant's responsibility to remove the toy before he winterizes the pool?
I don't think so, unless there was an agreement between him.
No agreement.
Okay, so depending on what his duties were. If the owner-
Yes or no?
Okay, I would say yes.
Okay. What do you think?
I say yes. The winterizer has a duty to warn the plaintiff about the
Say no, he doesn't have a duty to do that. He was there just strictly to winterize the pool. Anything that was on the bottom of the pool is the owner's responsibility.
Fair enough. Go to inside the courtroom.
So what discolored the liner? 'Cause the liner's discolored, so what is
I'm
it?
going to go with, over time, not having a chlorine feeder, and possibly this object that I just saw today. When chlorine
the
reacts.
discoloration of the bottom of the pool has nothing to do with this tiny little Frisbee. That's silly. You know, if
But
it's,
Your Honor, can I just bring up one more point? The chlorine can react with many different products, especially leaves or metal. Depending on what's in the pool, what kind of water is there, phosphates, there's many, many different things that can attribute to this. What I did,
but it can only happen based on the chlorine, right?
no, sunlight, rain, snow.
All the things that you just listed
Mm-hmm.
just mean algae grows more, so you have to put more chlorine to keep it shot
But
appropriately.
I usually go once a month in the winter. I only went twice this year. I have receipts to prove it. I only put in 8 gallons.
Can I just make a statement? We paid for 4 treatments for the winter. That's the normal treatment, the 4 treatment in winter.
Hey, does he really pay for 4 during the winter and you
No,
only did 2?
No, I don't know where you got that from.
Where
He
did you get
pays
that from?
It's been always 4. The year before
Has
it was
it
4.
been always 4?
No, we just came for the year before. There's no protocol.
All right, now your counterclaim is because when you opened the pool and you cleaned the pool and you got paid for it with a credit card, that ended up getting reversed.
After I got the court papers, yes. I received it afterwards. I didn't even realize.
Okay, and who reversed that? You called your credit card company?
My
and-
daughter did, yeah. He left the Frisbee in there, which ate into the liner. I felt that he had some liability for
I'm astounded
it.
that nobody sees the darn Frisbee in the pool.
Absolutely.
From both sides. I'm just astounded.
Your Honor, in the Northeast, in order to make any money, you got to hustle. And we don't look at the pool. We see a big raft or something, we'll get it out. We're running around closing pools 15 a day per truck. We're not, wow, let me get that Frisbee. We didn't even see it. And it wasn't intentional
Well,
either way.
I would imagine that if you had seen it, you wouldn't
Of
have ignored
course,
it. But,
especially if there's metal in it.
I don't know. I take it you're no longer cleaning the pool. You have a new pool service, right?
Yeah, me.
Right. You. Okay. I was going to say, why didn't you get a letter from that? But that explains that. All right. Let me tell you, this case is a little bit disturbing to me in many regards because I don't know what else could possibly stain the bottom other than chlorine. But there are so many proof problems because it's not, everyone knows he's putting chlorine in there. The question is, did he put too much or in a form he shouldn't have because he should have known it would eat the liner or something like that? The best proof of that would be evidenced by another pool company that says this wouldn't have happened if that would have happened. Aside from that, you have additional proof problems, which is this. You don't have the liner, you don't have the receipt from the old liner. I don't know what quality that liner is, how long that liner should have been expected to hold up under normal circumstances. And barring some evidence by another pool company that this can only happen through negligence of them, which I don't think you have. I'm just not comfortable ordering them to pay you $4,500. And on the Frisbee thing, as aghast as I am that neither side saw it, The question becomes, were they paid to see it and clean it and remove kids' toys that your kids left in there? And unless you paid for a cleaning just beforehand, which I don't see on that bill, I don't think it's their job to take that out. Which means then that the reversing of the charges on that last opening and cleaning were inappropriately reversed. I am awarding on the counterclaim the $328.71 and on the plaintiff's claim 0. That's my verdict.
Thank you.
And so the plaintiff loses this case. And so what's your feeling coming out here? He collects on you.
I'm not too happy about that, to be honest with you. I thought that what he did wasn't a good business practices, and I think he really ruined my liner. My liner's only 4 years old, and it certainly would last longer than that. But I think the excessive chlorine really did me in.
All right. So what do you do now with your pool?
Well, now I just have to buy a new liner in the fall, do the best I can.
Take better care of it.
Yeah.
All right. Head right around the corner here. Let's see what the pool guy has to say. He comes out here, collects on his countersuit. What's your feeling?
Justice was served. I watched the show a great deal. I know how it's supposed to go down. I did what he asked me to do. I did what he paid for, and that's it.
That's not a happy customer there, though.
I offered to help him out. I'll even offer again at a nice discount. However, I'm not going to pay what he wanted me to pay.
Okay, Harvey.
Well, there should be a cautionary tale for homeowners. If you hire somebody to do work at your home, that job better be ready to move when that person comes over. You need to get it ready for them. If you don't, you could end up getting stuck for the damage. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.